Now, I've made it absolutely no secret that I actually really do like the live-action Dinobot designs. And yeah, I am aware they are just giant bundles of shrapnel in the vague shape of dinosaurs, but they still look really cool. There's just something about the night aesthetic, the sheer size of them, and the way they just tower over everyone that actually really fits the Dinobots as characters. But here's the problem. When it comes to the toys, the Dinobots have never really felt right. And yes, I do realize that next year we will be getting a Titan-class Age of Extinction Grimlock, but what about all the other guys from Age of Extinction? None of them got so much as a leader-class figure. Scorn's the only one that actually got an upgrade with his second release of figures. Everyone else has just been kept at the deluxe scale. I mean, yes, they are affordable, but it just doesn't feel right to see Grimlock barely be taller than Optimus Prime. I mean, in the movies, Grimlock is confirmed to be over 80 feet tall, almost quadrupling Optimus's 28 feet. For better perspective, Devastator standing upright is 108 feet tall, meaning when he goes down on all fours like we saw in the movie, he would likely be shorter than Grimlock. Naturally, with this thought in my head, I had to ask, how tall would the Dinobots need to be in toy form in order to scale 1-to-1 with other Studio Series figures? Well, I gathered a whole bunch of data, did a whole bunch of math, and today I'm going to tell you how tall the live-action Dinobots would need to be in toy form. Now, Grimlock is the leader of the team and the one that we see most throughout the movie, so he's going to set the standard for how we actually scale the other Dinobots. According to official size charts for Age of Extinction, Grimlock's confirmed height is 84 feet tall in robot mode. For comparison, Bumblebee is consistently rated at 16 feet tall throughout the movies. In our first small bit of math, we do have to take 84 divided by 16 and we get 5.25, meaning that Grimlock is 5.25 Bumblebees tall. But what does that mean in toy form? Well, taking the height of Studio Series Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, which is 4.5 inches tall, we multiply that by our 5.25 and we get 23.6 inches tall. This means that if Grimlock scaled correctly in toy form, he would be nearly 2 feet tall. That's about 8 inches taller than the confirmed Titan class we're getting next year. That would make this theoretical Titan-class Grimlock one of the tallest Titans ever, just shy of Fortress Maximus and the original Metroplex. Now, to keep the math clean and prevent the screen from getting cluttered with a bunch of equations, we need to convert Grimlock's movie height into inches. Now, this is fairly simple. You just multiply his movie height by 12, as for every 12 inches, it is 1 foot. Multiplying 84 by 12, we get a result of 1008 inches. Now we just take our movie height in inches and divide it by our scaled toy's height, 23.6 inches. That gives us a ratio of about 42.67. This means that for every 42.67 inches in the movie, the toy will get a single inch. I realize this video is going to be basically 90% math, just bear with me, guys. Now, rather than going through all these singular steps again with the other Dinobots, we're instead going to use an equation to figure out their heights. The equation will read HF times 12 divided by 42.67 equals HI. HF and HI representing the height in feet and the height in inches respectively.
That's Optimus Prime.
Now we get to Scorn, the other unique Dinobot from these movies, who is actually a little bit taller than Grimlock, standing at 87 feet tall. We plug our numbers into our formula, giving us 87 times 12 divided by 42.67, which gives us a result of 24.5 inches tall in toy form. That would actually make Scorn the tallest Titan-class figure ever released, just barely edging out Metroplex and Fort Max. And this is kind of funny considering Scorn is in one movie, has no dialogue, maybe 3 minutes of screen time overall, and yet is canonically the biggest Titan-class figure ever. What a legend. Getting to Slug, who I can't say the original name for anymore because, well, derogatory term in the UK, we get our first Short King at 71 feet tall. Plugging this into our formula, we get just shy of 20 inches tall. So we're a little bit shorter than our theoretical Grimlock and Scorn, but we are still a good bit taller than the confirmed Titan class we're getting next year. For reference, this is about how tall Tidal Wave is.
Cheap knockoffs.
Now we get to our final on-screen Dinobot and the smallest of the group, Strafe, standing at 57 feet tall in robot mode. Plugging the thing into the thing, we get a confirmed height of 16 inches tall, just barely beating out the confirmed Titan class we're getting next year. Realistically though, due to his wingspan and dino mode, he would likely still be at the $200 price point. So that's it. That's all the on-screen Dinobots we get. They would all be right about Titan class size. Some would be the tallest that we've ever gotten, but doesn't that seem a little bit underwhelming? Like, why stop at the ones that showed up on screen? The amount of math I had to do for these next three guys is more than I did throughout my entirety of college.
Plan to stop them, King.
Don't listen to her, King.
King Snarl! Slug travel!
Slug's not helping!
Ironically, even though he only shows up as a toy and in some Creo cartoon that I couldn't find, Snarl is actually one of the easiest ones to do. The main reason he's the easiest one is because we could just use the sizes of the real-life dinosaur that he's based on. Since he is based on a Stegosaurus, we'll use the next closest Dinobot, which is Slug, who is a highly stylized Triceratops. Now, we can assume that since Stegosaurus and Triceratops are relatively similar in body shape and size, that Snarl would just be about the same size as Slug. So Snarl would likely be around that 19-inch mark like Slug was, though you can give or take an inch on that one. Now, getting to Slash, we actually do have a piece of auxiliary media we can use, even though he didn't show up in the movie. In the How to Ride a Dinobot short, we see Hound trying, and failing, to ride Slash. Now, since Hound's confirmed height is 24 feet tall, we can estimate that Slash is taller than Hound, but shorter than Strafe. That gives us a range of about 25 to 56 feet tall, meaning we'll take the average of 40.5 feet. Taking our 40.5 feet, putting it into our equation, we get a result of 11.4 inches, the first non-Titan class size Dinobot. This would put him in similar size as the large commanders like Jetfire.
Slug one happy hug! Slug's like travel!
Slug's not helping!
Yeah, what she said!
Saving our most difficult Dinobot for last because I hate myself, we're talking about Slog. The reason he's the most difficult? There is not a single piece of media about this guy. We only got the toy. And yes, while we've been in the theoretical this entire video, we at least had something to work with. With this guy,
We're going in blind.
now, Slog's dino mode is based on an Apatosaurus, which was fairly large at 75 feet long and 19 feet tall at the shoulder. To scale him, we're going to use Scorn's dino mode, the Spinosaurus, because it's the next closest thing in size. Spinosaurus measured out about 50 feet long and 12 feet tall to the shoulder. This gives us a ratio of 1.5 for the length and 1.58 for the height. Applying these ratios to Scorn's dino mode height of 59 feet, Slog's dino mode height comes out to 88.5 feet tall. But we're not done yet, people. When Scorn transforms, he goes from 59 feet tall to 87 feet tall. This means he increases by a factor of 1.47. Applying this to our 88.5 foot height we got for Slog's dino mode, we get a robot mode height of about 130 feet tall. Plugging this into our equation, we get 130 times 12 divided by 42.67, which gives us a result of 36.6 inches tall. You heard that right, folks. A Dinobot we never saw in any form of media whatsoever outside of a toy is now the tallest Titan class figure to ever be released. And no, in no way would Hasbro ever do this, but the math checks out. So, after all this grueling math, what have we figured out? Well, we figured out that in order for the Studio Series Dinobots to scale 1-to-1 to the other figures, Grimlock would have to be 23.6 inches tall, Scorn would have to be 24.5 inches tall, Slug would have to be 20 inches tall, Strafe would have to be 16 inches tall, Slash would have to be 11.4 inches tall, Snarl would be about 20 inches tall, give or take an inch, And Slog would be the largest Transformer Hasbro has ever made, standing at 36.6 inches tall in robot mode. For reference, if these were ever released at these theoretical size classes, that means this team would run you $1,440. Just the ones we see in the movie, that's still $750. So while yes, the upcoming Titan class Grimlock may not be perfectly scaled, it's probably the most realistic compromise Hasbro's willing to make. And that's the Dinobot scaling math that nobody asked for, but I just absolutely had to figure out, I guess. So what do you guys think? Let me know, would you guys buy that insanely expensive 2-scale Dinobots, or are you good with the 15-inch Titans? Let me know if I made any mistakes. I am not a mathematician. I likely messed up royally somewhere throughout this video. All that to say, if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like. If you want more deep dives into Transformers toys, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.